Ladies and gentlemen, your hosts, Michael Wilkes, Angel Ortiz, Dr. Chad, and Sam LaCavera. Go check out beardedbrowns.com and be sure to like, follow, and subscribe. Enjoy the show.
What is up, everybody? What is up? Happy Tuesday night. We're all just sitting around here in Ohio getting rained on finally after what felt like a drought for 3 weeks. Getting some thunderstorms. It's a great night. Thank you for tuning in. We're actually live on Facebook. Last week we could not figure that out. But if you missed the Eric Metcalf interview, please go on our YouTube page and watch it. It's actually really good. We did some snippets, some reels that we've been posting on our page on Facebook. But if you want to watch it in the entirety, which was a dream come true for me. Sorry, Sam, you could not be there. I know you wanted to. It's one of your favorite players, but it was great. After cutting up the reels and posting them, I'm like, man, that was such a great experience. But we're live, and as you can see, there's one person you don't recognize, and that's okay, because we don't recognize him either. He just hopped on in this live stream.
Chad got better looking.
Chad got better looking. No, Chad is out on business, so I invited a friend of mine that you meet on. You watch. I don't know about you guys, but I watch other Browns podcasts, right? So what I do is I just watch and I listen. I'm like, I kind of like this podcast. So he sent me a Facebook message. I was sitting there for maybe a couple hours, and I started chatting back and forth. I was like, hey, I hate talking on Facebook Messenger. Here's my number. So we've been talking about for about a week, and I said, you know what? We need somebody else on. I asked the guys. They said, that's okay. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome Ethan Greenberg. He is a host of Going Nuclear and the best doggone podcast in the land. Ethan Greenberg, welcome.
Well, thank you so much for having me on. I really appreciate it. This has been a pleasure. I've enjoyed talking to you guys as we are getting prepared for the show, and enjoyed talking with you, Angel, over the course of the past, week or so or more, just sharing ideas. And I was so impressed, you guys having Eric Metcalf on. And, I know as a podcast host, there's so many of us doing the same type of thing. It's hard. It's hard unless you are in the biz and you got to know people. So I was super impressed when you got Eric Metcalf on. And hey, I love talking Browns, so I am glad to be here. Thank you so much for having me on. This is a pleasure. Sorry to crash your birthday, Sam.
Sam.
No, it's all good, man. I appreciate
Happy
it.
birthday.
Oh, hey.
Happy
birthday, Sam.
Thanks, fellas.
To you. Happy birthday
Thanks,
to
fella.
you. See, you got my
That's
singing
enough. We
voice.
love you, but not that
Ironically,
No, I'm kidding.
Sam, we have the same birthday as my father-in-law.
Oh, do I? Okay.
Yeah,
That's Leo's,
facts.
man.
Yes.
We're dynamic. We're dynamics. We're dynamics.
Sam is 30
one
years old.
One wrap around. Another trip around the sun, man. Thank you, guys.
True that. Welcome.
Absolutely.
And actually, I want to say something to Ethan. Hang on, real quick. Ethan, real quick. Mike told me you were going to be on the show, and I didn't know, but he showed me you before. I was at Mike's, and we were watching you, man. And I was like, listening to your voice, man, caught me right away. I go, that dude could call a Guardians game any day of the week. I could just hear it. I told Mike that. I remember being at your house, Mike. I don't know if you remembered, but I go, man, you have a voice for broadcasting like a live Indians game, dude. Guardians game, excuse everybody.
Hey, no,
but when I first heard you, I thought that right away.
That means the world to me. But yes,
absolutely,
I was telling the fellas before you hopped on, I got to work a lot. I do play-by-play. I've done the past 17 seasons of women's basketball at the Division III school down here in the Richmond area, the Randolph-Macon College Yellow Jackets. I do their play-by-play, and I've done a lot other stuff when I was in Ohio. I did play-by-play. My first position was for the Canton Crocodiles in the Frontier League, and I filled in when Tony Rizzo's father, Jack Reynolds, he went out ill. I happened to be in the right place at the right time, filled in for him back in 1999, got to meet him and stuff. He had a dinner at a Big Boy with him, and good times there. I really wish I would have soaked it in a little bit more. And then I've done a variety of other things. I worked at a station in Canton. I worked at 900 WCER, where Christ ever reigns. And I'm a token Jew. It was, although the worst part about that, guys, is the owner, the general manager of the station, was a Pittsburgh Steelers fan. So we were a station, an affiliate for Steelers games. Right. I had to run the board on Sundays and listen to Tunch Ilkin and listen to what's his name? Myron Cope. So yeah, thank you very much, Sam. Yes, I do. I really appreciate that, and that is my passion. And maybe one day I'll make it back to the land. I am angling here, and would love to have an opportunity to maybe even do the WNBA or the professional soccer. If there's any way I can get back to the land.
Hey. Absolutely. That's just kind of crazy because you just gave me some of your credentials, man, and it fits, man. Because when I first heard you, that's being honest. And you do me one favor for my birthday. I just want to hear just a bit outside.
Just a bit outside. A swing and a drive away. That's my guy right there.
There it is.
Best call of mine.
That's it, man. There it is.
One of my best calls had to have been when I was doing the baseball, and in Johnstown, Pennsylvania, they had just fired the manager, Johnny Zizzo, and Kevin Romberg, former Cleveland Indian, was the general manager. He came into town. So he was the interim manager for the night, and it was early in the game. There was a bad call at first base. He comes out of the dugout. He's arguing with the ump. He picks up first base. He goes down the right field line. He pirouettes and throws the bag over the fence. And then he came up after he got ejected, and he joined me in the booth.
Yes.
Oh, there you go. That's awesome. That's awesome.
Good stuff.
That's what's up, man.
Ethan's brought to you by Cleveland Ketchup, the Cleveland Ketchup Cam. So shout out to Cleveland Ketchup for sponsoring the show. Use Bearded for 10% off your order when you order them online. It is good stuff, right, Mike? So
yeah, we don't put beard hairs in your ketchup. I promise.
Yeah,
it's just I know Ethan was thinking it. Like I can see Ethan's face. He's like you, like what?
Ethan already is more popular than Chad. Ian, my favorite YouTuber, says Ethan low-key looks like Dillon's cousin. Let's be honest, Mike is the Shador of the podcast. Hey, man, if Mike wants to be average, then if Mike wants to be average, he can be Shador. If Mike wants to be average, he can be Shador. But anyways, just playing. Shador's not average. He's good. Let's move on to some team news. Guys. First and foremost, a big shout out to Bo from listening to Kentucky. Nice. Joe Flacco named Cleveland Browns starting quarterback. I think everybody is not shocked by this. I think most of us are pretty pleasant with this. And anybody has objections to Joe Flacco starting for your Cleveland Browns, Mike?
I'll go first, just like Eric Metcalf said last week. If you got a guy that's coming in and winning games, you're going to keep that guy, whether it be by a bigger or smaller margin. You're going to keep that guy in if he's winning games. If not, I would say between 4 and 6 weeks, if we're losing, you're going to have to see somebody else step up to the plate, or the line, for that matter.
Yeah, Sam.
It's kind of how I figured it was going to play out. And I'm not a toot the own horn guy, man, because
but I'm about to toot my own horn.
I'm not, man. I'm not that guy. I didn't call you up and go, man, I told you so, man. You knew it was going to be that way.
I felt it.
No, I never. And my thing is, I'm still wanted Kenny not to be hurt. I wanted to see it play out, and we didn't get a chance to actually see it play out how I wanted it to play out. So I'm not shocked but I wanted Kenny to have a fair shake at having the reins too, man. So, and he's still in there. So I can't. I'm not counting him out. So he's
we'll see what
still
the
be part of that.
brings.
He's still going to be part of that team, I believe. A lot of people are saying that he's probably going to be out, but I don't know. I could see us keeping 4. You can pup list somebody, put somebody on IR. We'll figure it out. We'll get it figured out.
Andrew Barry's smart enough to figure some loophole, right? He's a Harvard grad. How about you, Ethan?
No, I think that this is the right call. I got to be honest. I felt better about Flacco being the week 1 starter than I did about Pickett. I don't have a lot of confidence in Pickett. I've looked at his stats, and I know that he wasn't in a very good offensive system in Pittsburgh, but his numbers were very underwhelming. But obviously they liked him for a reason. I wasn't on that train, but I would have been fine with it. It is what it is. I like Flacco. He's got the experience. And as you pointed out, Mike, if he comes in and wins, he's going to keep under center. If he doesn't, eventually they'll move on. We are going to see multiple quarterbacks. The question is, when will that happen? If it doesn't, let's say Joe Flacco plays all season, we are having a hell of a season, and we are going to have a good time in Cleveland all year long. And to the extent that, to what you said, Sam, about keeping all 4 quarterbacks, it's a numbers game. And the question is there going to be room? I don't know that either, anybody will have to go on IR or anything like that. And we're not getting rid of the rookies, and they're not going to try and put them on the practice squad. They will get snatched up. So if they're either keeping all 4 or Pickett's gonzo. At some juncture, but I don't know.
I agree. I think I think there's someone smart enough to figure out. I think he will keep 4 if he wants 4. But yeah, it's going to be tough, like Ethan said, to get 4 on that squad, and someone's going to pick him up. I know the big thing is Kenny Pickett can get traded. I come back with saying, like, who's going to want a backup quarterback that has a hammy issue right now? I mean, his value is very low. If you're going to try to trade him, you probably get a bucket of balls, which the team might be good for that. Who knows? But I tend to lean on, I think they're going to keep him. I think somehow they're going to figure it out. And we do need a backup quarterback, despite what people think. I don't feel comfortable playing any rookies until after the Pittsburgh game, but that's just me. But we'll see what happens. Over the last 2 years, though, Joe Flacco's stats have been pretty stellar. 2023-2024 season, he compiled 3,377 passing yards, 25 touchdowns, 15 interceptions, a 90.4 passer rating over 13 games. His best game was against Jacksonville last year. 359 yards, 3 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, 121 passer rating. But they lost because it was, you're in Indy, so you're going to lose. They don't have too much talent. Under Flacco, the Browns were 4-1, clinching a playoff berth, earning him AP Comeback Player of the Year. He was the oldest winner since Sam was born, 1963.
Andy won the Nickelodeon.
That was a good one. Good jab. That was a good jab.
He got slimed by Amari Cooper.
Yeah, who is
to
get on the team.
Yeah, that's kind of a crazy thing. And when you see those types of moves, you start to think about Andrew Berry, and you're like, well, maybe he does know what he's doing. For as much flack as he gets, the fact that he moved out Cooper, that we got him for cheap and then moved him out, and it's like, well, doesn't look like he messed that one up, I guess.
Yeah, it's something about receiver. We talked about it many times. Chad likes to talk about it too. Like receivers over 30, they kind of dwindle a little bit. Their production. That's why McLaurin, they're like, oh, let's get him. I'm like, dude's 30, and that's why Washington don't want to. Washington don't want to play him because pay him is because he's 30. And it sucks for him because he's at the tail end of his age as far as that position, and he should get paid because he's the best receiver on the team, and the quarterback's probably going to struggle without him. But you don't pay quarterbacks over 30, receivers over 30. You just don't. It's very rare, very rare.
Yes. We're going to move along. This one's brought to you in part by Sam's Social Security number 7. Denzel Ward
These guys love me.
hurt his shoulder. Denzel Ward hurt his shoulder during practice. Definitely not a concussion, so that's a plus.
Yes, it is tweeted earlier before we got on that everything they did a test and it seemed to be okay. It seemed like he tried to get back on, but they were like, "Listen, bro, you test fate once. We're not gonna have you practice anymore today." Matter of fact, you'll probably be done for the rest of the week until week 1 because they don't want to lose their best corner. But this does, yeah. James Frank is right. We need that at corner, and you lose him, man.
Comment. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's going to be tough to fulfill. I mean, you lose your second best corner, and now you might. I mean, you're treading water, right? Once you lose half the field, that corner he can shut off half the field, man. That's going to be rough. That's why it's going to be tough to keep 4 quarterbacks, right? Because you're going to need other depth, like corner, and possibly that's where when people say you can carry 6, 7 receivers, you're like. It's only so many room for so many people here, guys. Like,
right. I know that too, man. And we talked about when MJ got hurt, we kind of talked about it already too. We already knew there was going to be some holes in that, and so. Like, I mean, I get up this morning, I see there's Trey Hendrickson. Oh, you might be able to get the defensive end from the Bengals. No, you're not. You can't afford them. So let's just stop that. But let's think about what we really need, because we actually do have a pretty good stout line, but we do need to figure out something on that cornerbacks there, man. You know, you guys had touched on it a little earlier. I'm not sure. I didn't hear nothing about it, but you guys brought something up about Newsome. And,
yeah, he's been.
We already know Denzel is prone to concussions. It's not if, it's kind of, to me, when. So we got to have some depth back there. We really do. I mean, James said it, and we all know it. James Frank said it, but we got to figure that out. So if you're going to spend some money or look at something, you might want to see who's out there, who you can get, man. That could be a lockdown guy. I mean, it's tough. That's a tough position to begin with. So let's see what can happen, man. That's definitely a hole we're at right now, you know. So
yeah. Ethan, you want to add anything to that?
Well, there isn't much to add. I mean, again, as you said, we are thin there. Newsome is still recovering from this an apparent injury, but he was just listed as day-to-day. They don't have to give out as much information in the preseason as they do during the regular season, unless you're Bill Belichick. I mean, I'm sorry. So you've got Emerson done for the year. You got Newsome dinged up a little bit, and now Ward dinged up a little bit. If you look at the statistics, Ward is actually, he misses maybe average 2 to 3, or just over two games average per season. But yeah, you're always concerned about that. And it's because of the way he plays. He is so darn good, but he's going to play physical. And, you know, remember when Greg Williams was here, when Ward was a rookie, and he's like, you got to stop tackling like this, blah, 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 blah. It's like, that's just who he is. So I don't know what you do about that. And hopefully that doesn't bite him in the rear end and nothing else does. But it's always a possibility. We really need him out there. The depth at the defensive back is certainly thin, even with Ward and Newsome. Mitchell is getting
struggling.
He is
struggling.
Struggling is a very nice way of putting it. I know that, you know, we got some guys. They've got some. Who is it that Dom Jones? He's he's a youngin' out of Colorado. He's a rookie, so he's like, But there was somebody else that I was looking at, and I was telling you guys, I was discussing this with my son, and he was telling me, he was talking about some of the guys. Darius Rush, he's not too shabby, has a little bit of experience, but the bottom line is that's an area of concern for sure. And as you mentioned, the position, with that being a position of need and being thin there, can you afford to carry an extra quarterback? Can you afford to carry an extra wide receiver? Where are you going to balance this out? And I'm sure they'll figure it out. Let's just hope for the best and hope that by the time week 1 arrives against Cincinnati, down on the lakefront. Those two, Ward and Newsom, will be playing and will be relatively healthy by then.
Yeah, we'll see how that works out. In other news, that Junkins will not face any charges for the accusations made against him. According to reports, the decision was based on several factors, including late reporting of the alleged incident to police, no surveillance videos, no independent witnesses. The state attorney says that there were videos seen during the same time frame that didn't show the victim with injuries. And that's pretty telling, because according to her, it happened as soon as they landed in Florida. So if there's no evidence of, hitting, then how can it happen? Right. So we're at a standstill now where, from what I've been reading, I guess there's some verbiage that's going on with this contract that Junkins wants to straighten up before he signs. And I guess it's a back and forth thing. So what do you guys think about that news? By the way, this is the prosecutor that say we're not doing anything. It's like, there's not enough evidence here. We can't pursue nothing because
there's still
has to quit.
Well, the thing is, though, you know how the NFL treats these things, and there still has to be an investigation on their end. So I think once they do that, and once that plays out, then we'll see him getting his contract signed. We weren't there. Nobody was there. I don't want to harp on anything. I mean, you don't hit women. I mean, but I'll tell you right now, there's some crazy females out there. All right. I'm going to say it, because when they're looking for money, it's a crazy thing, because it can drive them nuts, man. And I'm going to say that because I've seen it firsthand. I'm not going to go naming. I'm not going to name drop, nothing like that. Years ago, I seen somebody a woman punch her own face and call the cops on somebody. I saw that. So we don't know. I mean, but that's stuff that does happen. So let's let it all filter out and play how it's going to play out, and let the NFL do what they got to do. And we've seen what Bond had to go through to get to where he's at. I mean, it's still an investigation through the NFL. So let's keep our fingers crossed they get what they need to see, so this kid can get out there and play some football. We need him.
Yep. Yeah. They definitely need Judkins out there. He is a valuable asset to this rookie class. And I read the report from the state attorney. And so first of all, they're talking about the conflicting reports. So Judkins, her version is he's reaching back and hitting her. He's saying she was kicking my seat and I'm reaching back and I'm hitting her. So if it leaves a mark, now this whole thing about the punch in the mouth, it's like that didn't all jive, based upon everything I'm looking at. And as you said, the surveillance videos that happened to come during the time frame after the car ride didn't exhibit what, she's showing to them in these pictures. And I don't know, but at the end of the day, I think that there are valuable lessons to be learned here, including the company that you put yourself in.
Yep.
And let's hope that they get this cleaned up quickly, and the NFL does whatever they need to do. They do it quickly. Don't drag your feet on this. And he needs to be on the field. The longer this goes on, the longer it's going to be before he can get out there and make an impact. This is ridiculous. I wanted him in here this week.
We said if he was in here this week, it would have gave him this week and the week off. So at least 2.5 weeks to kind of get his legs going.
Yeah, because those two stories came out almost back to back with
on the same day. It was the same afternoon.
So I go. I mean, within I want to say even within an hour, this was all transpiring. So I'm like, you know what? I see. Okay, Bond had to go through what he went through, and the Junkins thing came out first, and I'm like, okay, well, that's coming from the big dogs, and the prosecutors are like, you know what? There's nothing here. We don't want to. We're done. And I'm a rush guy. I'm like, okay, he's done. Let's get him his contract. Let's get him out to Philadelphia and let's go. being jokingly saying that because I was talking with Mike, but I'm like, this is go time for him. So, but let's see how it all, the chips have to lay out. Like I said, the NFL's got to do their part. So we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, we'll see how that happens. Hopefully, like Ethan said, sooner than later, because he's probably the catalyst of what Kevin wanted to do this year in offense. So running the ball is going to be huge. So hopefully Samson, Ford, and the other, whoever decided to see, because I don't think Strong might not make it. We'll see who's that third running back is. But
I'll tell you what, Junkins is pretty good in Madden. I'll tell you that.
Well, hang on real quick before we go, Who was the other running back the last 2 preseason games? He's been tearing it up.
Are you talking about Amani Marshall?
Yes, that's
Marshall. Amani Marshall. Yeah, that kid been looking pretty good, man. He was.
That's why I said Strong's not a lock right now. Marshall can be. I mean, at least practice squad, worst case, right? Practice squad, worst case. On to the next. Isaiah Bond signs a 3-year, $300 million. I was going to say 3-year, $3 million fully guaranteed contract. A lot of people weren't shocked by the signing because obviously he came out on X on Friday and said he's signing, like he declared for college, but he said, I'm going to the Browns. This is my declare. I'm declaring I'm going to the Browns. And people are like, well, this is crazy. What's shocking is the fact that the Browns paid him as a 3rd-round pick. Now, that's probably why he decided, because there's some back channels working. I don't know if that's legal or not, but you probably knew. Now, they did bring him in for a 30 visit, so they were highly interested. And he does have a tie-in with Reese at Alabama because he came from Alabama to Texas. So all the lines make sense. Guys, this is a really good pickup for the Browns. I'm not saying he's going to be Jerry Jeudy-esque. He's a speed guy and Z guy that you're going to want to blow the top off the defense guy. The guy that Kevin's been waiting for type of guy. Anthony Schwartz? That type of guy we thought we were going to get guy. This guy is going to be electrifying.
Olympic speed that can actually
4.39.
catch the football.
Yep,
that
4.39.
can actually catch the football. That was Schwartz's big downfall. He's an Olympic speedster. He's got Olympic speed. I was like, but he can't catch. You're a wide receiver.
His feet would go ahead. He's like, oh, yeah.
Oh man, dude.
Never catch a ball.
Yeah, Ethan, what are your thoughts on it?
I'm loving this. Before all the trouble for him after the combine, I'm like, man, this guy would be great. And then all that happened. I'm like, I had been watching. I'm like, what in the world? He didn't get drafted by anybody. He's undrafted and waiting. And all of a sudden this happens. I'm going, whoa, this is great. Tyreek Hill runs a 4.29 40. This guy runs a 4.39. You ain't going to notice much of a difference. If we have a guy that can blow the top open, that's going to make life so much easier for everybody else if they've got to worry about him beating a guy, off the line of scrimmage. They're going to have to give him room. And if he can actually catch the ball, he was very productive in his years in college, Alabama, and at Texas. I think he is a very valuable add for $3 million and 3 years. That's fantastic. Considering everything else. I mean, our wide receiver room is weak. It's sus. It is sus, and that's the nicest thing I can say about it.
You're right. Yeah, you're right. That was another part that we needed to be keying on. And I think Andrew Berry, I heard Andrew Berry and them kind of were already kind of looking at him.
They targeted him. Yeah.
And then even after, what happened where he couldn't get drafted because, I'm like, this kid just screwed his career up. It's the first thing you think popped in my head. I'm like, wow, dude, hopefully things work out. That's not what the scenario was, but obviously, all the legalities went through and he's pretty much cleared a name as far as I'm concerned. And now we got another guy that can spread a defense, man. Cause like you said, if he's out there, he's going to be problemsome. And that's kind of what we need, man. So let's go with that, man. At first I was on the fence. I'm like, oh man, another guy with
because
baggage.
you said a small guy that weighs
small guy,
200 pounds.
Yep, I said another small guy.
But if you think about it from this perspective, you're gonna have Judy Tillman, because I don't think Johnson's making the team. Judy Tillman, and you have
Thrash
and
Larvadain.
And then him. I would put him. And then I'm talking about when you have a full team, right? So you have Junkins back there. You have Sampson probably in the split back. You can have him on the team. Like, you opens up, like, who are you going to get? And if he's open, dude, he can catch the ball and get 15 yards in the blink of an eye.
Oh, yeah.
Let's think about who they could have on any one play. Let's just assume Judkins is on the field. So I would go, you got Judkins, Sampson, Judy, Njoku,
Fannin.
And then
I forgot about Fannin.
Whiteheart.
And then you throw in Bond. That sounds in theory
good.
Really, really good. And really,
this is what I mean by saying, like, when we go back to the quarterbacks, like, if one of these young quarterbacks is just good, don't need to be great, with the talent that Barry's accumulated, and this draft alone, by the way, just this draft, this young talent, any quarterback under Kevin's system can be successful.
Bingo.
Including Kenny Pickett. I'm glad you guys agree.
I got the next one. You guys ready to move along?
Yeah. Let's go.
Or you entertainers ready to move along here?
Yeah, absolutely. Let's
Sure.
roll.
You entertainers.
Dillon Gabriel is getting a lot of heat, not because of his game, but because of what he said during the game. Okay. He said there are entertainers and there are competitors. And I understand that, but my job is to compete. And he said that, and ESPN, NFL Network, everybody clipped that little piece and just put it on their socials. And then I go to my ex one day. I'm like, what Dillon said this? I'm like, what the heck? And then I watched the video. I'm like, whoa. And then I say, wait a second. What was the question? Because all they're doing is clipping the answer. And then you go back and hear the question. And then you go, what? He didn't mean it like that, right? And supposedly he took a shot at Shedeur. Do you guys agree with that? Is this a shot at Shedeur?
No.
No, I think he's so hyped up about. I just think he's hyped up about the media talking crap. That's all. I mean,
there you go. That's it. Yep. And you know what?
That's a good perspective. I didn't think about that.
That's the first thing I thought of, Mike, when I heard that. I was actually in the car. I was backing the car in. I ran out to get some groceries or something, and I'm hearing this, and I'm listening to it, and I'm like, yeah, he's talking about the media. It never went in my mind at one time go, oh, he's dogging on Shedeur. Never, not one time. I'm sitting there listening to him, back in my car.
Ethan thinks otherwise.
Well, I'm backing up, and he pretty much said. He pretty much said that, like, you guys are entertainers, media people are entertainers. You know, you make things happen, and if there's not something to talk about, you give them something to talk about. We all know how it works. Flacco's been out there, and he straight up said, "Yeah, I'll tell you one thing, but you guys will go back. I got to find the clip. I'll say something, and you guys, media, will go back and say a whole different thing. So I'm going to take it my way, but I'm gonna let you guys know that that's the way it is. I know how you guys work, and I'm sure that Flacco, if he's not just football, and they're like, Flacco's not here to mentor these kids, he's there for a job. I understand that, but I guarantee you that he's probably said, be careful what you say around the media. They can get a little fork tongued out there. That's what they want. So that's the way I took it when Gabriel said what he said. I go, hey man, he's talking about the media. He ain't talking about Shedeur. Come on.
Hold on 1 sec. Go ahead, Ethan. Go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, I think it was an honest question by Aditi Kinkabwala, and he gave an honest answer. The problem is it was a poor choice of words. Why would you call the reporters entertainers? You want to call Stephen A. Smith and all the guys on First Take and on Get Up on ESPN. You want to call all them entertainers? Fine. But when you're talking about the beat writers, yes, their jobs have evolved, and they're more than just sitting at a desk and typing up a story. They are doing shows. They are doing spots on morning radio. You've got Grossi over on ESPN Cleveland. You got Mary Kay Cabot, Daryl Ryder on at 92.3 The Fan. They're all doing these types of things. So yes, their analysis and opinions get into it. But he did. He answered the questions afterwards. Grossi asks him for clarification. Then Mary Kay asks him for clarification. And I'm glad he did. But to anybody who wants to twist it in the public, they can. Regardless, the cat is out of the bag. And if you were a Sanders fan and not a Dillon Gabriel fan, you're like, oh, man, look what he said. And you're going to take it for whatever it is and however you want it to fit your narrative. But I think at the end of the day, I don't think he was intentional. I know there's some that do, but I don't think he was intentional. It was a very poor choice of words. Why didn't he just say, why use the word entertainers? There's entertainers in there. Dude, think about it a little bit. That doesn't come across. And I heard a commentary that was something that kind of sounded like a Dan Lanningism when he talked about Colorado.
Yeah. And by the way, he wasn't there when Dan Lanning said that. Gabriel was in Oklahoma that year. So that I said that. I was like, wow, that would be a coincidence. And I was like, wait a minute, who's the quarterback? That was Gabriel. Gabriel came the year after. So Gabriel wouldn't have heard that. Yeah, but
I'm gonna play a clip really quick.
All right.
I'm gonna play a clip really quick. Just to bring up Sam's point here. Let's see.
Can I go Caddyshack on you and say, well, we're waiting? No.
He's clicking.
I got you. I'm just messing.
Did you guys hear that or see that at all?
No, we didn't see anything or hear anything. Yeah, so what was it?
Flacco did a good job with the media the other day. They were asking him about, in Philadelphia, the joint practices, asking about Shedeur when he hurt his oblique. He's like, I don't know. Okay, it's tough. He was basically like, would you stop
asking me questions about Shedeur?
Ask me about me. And I'm not a doctor.
Right.
Yeah.
Did he stay to Holiday Inn Express last night? I don't know.
Yeah, that's it. My take on the Dillon thing is like I agree with Ethan. Poor choice of words, but at the same time, he's young, right? He's being trained, so he'll learn from this. Also, too, he's right. I thought he's right. Let me put it this way. For months, he's been heard that he's too short. For months, he heard that he's not good enough, right? From these local guys on the radio saying he doesn't look like an NFL quarterback. And he actually did. And he's coming on there saying, hey, look, I actually did pretty good. And I'm hurting, by the way, because I still have a hamstring issue. And I did pretty good. So for him, I think that was more or less of letting out his frustration, saying, I've been hearing for weeks I'm too short. I've been hearing for weeks I don't look like a franchise starting quarterback in the NFL because I had 2 days of struggling, right? By the way, he's playing with the first-team defense, against the first-team defense. We don't take account for that at all, do we? The fact that our first-team defense is lighting up everybody.
Right. But let me ask you this, Angel, and I don't want to take the conversation too far astray.
No, take it away.
But at some point, you're going to have to play against number one defenses. And if you're no good, you're no good. And now so then to the people who want to argue against him or argue for Shedeur, they're like, how would we know? He can't even get an opportunity. And what the coaches are saying by not doing that is saying, we don't believe he's at that point yet. Because as we'll get into here momentarily with the highlights and the lowlights of Dillon Gabriel, the one thing he did, we'll talk about the things he did well, and you can look at that versus what Shedeur does on the field, and you can see a little bit of that difference. But I see where they're going with it.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, if you start saying, well, he only played against these people, well, what are you supposed to do? You can only play against who they put you on the field with, and if you stink, you stink, and if you're good, you're good. I don't know.
Yeah, what I'm trying to say is like he struggled against might be, if they stay healthy, the best defense in the league. Now, the other defense he's going to be playing against, if he gets his opportunity, won't be the best defense in the league. So he'll look a little better, hypothetically, hopefully. I mean, that's what should happen, but we're in Cleveland, so probably it won't happen. Nonetheless, let's get into the preseason game talk. Brought to you by Bearded Bastards Barbecue Sauce. Use our promo code Bearded15 to get 15% off your order. Mike, how's our barbecue sauce?
Dude, I can't express. Honestly, the doctor, going with Dr. Pepper in it, dude, phenomenal. I put it on some, we had short ribs, beef short ribs, and I smothered it on there. And I actually sent Dan a picture. And dude,
sent me a picture
good.
too. I'm like, man, that looks good.
Yeah, he's a local guy.
Good.
Local guy, he does it himself, small business. So I mean, you hit it all. You hit the small business, you get the local guy from around the area, and you get to support that his business. He's trying to take it off. So go support him. Use our code so he can know that, hey, I heard it from the Bearded Browns guys. And obviously, if Mike thinks it's good because Mike likes to eat ribs, right, Mike?
I like to eat meat, lots of meat.
Pause.
Oh, well, that's not up. That's not up and usually.
Yes. Dillon Gabriel, he played one half. He was 13 of 18, 143 yards, an interception, a fumble, 2 sacks. His rating was 72.2. Guys, grade Dillon Gabriel.
I'll give him a C. The first drive looked great. You were making plays happen. You held the ball for quite a while. 8 minutes, I believe that first drive was off the clock. Minutes. So clock management's big, especially if we're like last year where we couldn't score more than 14 points a game. Clock management's going to be big. So hopefully this year we could turn around and score more points and still keep up that clock management where we hold time of possession, because we all know time of possession in a game could be a focal point to win a game as well. So,
yep. Sam?
I'm right around there with Mike, man. I hate to be the C+ guy, but I'm gonna be the C+ guy. And the C+ part of it is his first series looked really good. He was getting his targets, but even though he was getting his targets, and I was like, he was looking snappy, he was looking good. They were, I don't want to say dink dunk, but kind of on the fence of dink dunk. In the little wheelhouse, there was no let's stretch it out, throw one down, see what's happening. Let Jamari go down there, grab one. So, and then, obviously when he had the interception, that took him back a little bit, but not with me. I'm like, it's preseason, ladies and gentlemen. Everybody's learning. You, so
I think that interception was a miscommunication issue, not on fault for him completely.
Right. And then even the second turnover was the handoff. And who was it? I think was it Pierre Strong that he handed it off to, I believe. And Pierre kind of like, I seen Pierre's mannerisms walking off. He's like, yeah, that wasn't me. That was on him. I can see it. I can see it. I can feel it. And I was like, that happens though, man. That does happen. And the same thing about Shedeur. We talked about Shedeur coming in for his first game. I said, if the kid goes out there and lights it up, I'm not going to go, whoa. If he goes out there and plays like crap, I'm not going to go, see, garbage, 5th rounder, what you get. Let them guys are still playing. They're still developing. They're still doing their thing. So now Dillon, all right, threw an interception, had a botched handoff. That kind of puts him, especially in front of, how us Browns fans can be, kind of puts him in the back, man. They're like, now see, that's where he's at. Mr. High IQ can't even hand the ball off. I heard it all, man. They were dogging him, man. I'm like, it's a preseason game. All right, let's take it for that. Take it for that. Do we all want to see them? And you know what? He's also playing injured, ladies and gentlemen. Okay? Be lucky he's out there trying to compete. That shows.
I think he's got heart.
I think he was trying to entertain us.
He has to. Because he didn't want Shedeur to get another shot. Not that Shedeur would have, because he was hurt, but
and I think both of these kids deserve another shot coming on this last preseason game. They both deserve it if they can. If there's somebody's hurt, don't do it. Don't stretch yourself. Don't do it. Same thing with Pickett. You know what, Angel? I want to see Pickett. Gosh darn it. I don't want to say God in front of you, but gosh darn it, I want to see Pickett. I want to see what Pickett can do, bro. I really do, because we brought him here for a reason, and I want to see what he can do. I want to see him. I said, I want to see him succeed. I want to see all these guys succeed and best man win. Let's go. That's what it's about. So that's what it is, man. That's where my heart's at on it. I'm not going to sit here and dog the kid. He threw an interception, so now he's garbage. You're not going to get rid of a draft pick like that. So stop. Knock it off.
Yeah.
These people get delusional. They're delusional.
Ethan, how
Well,
about you?
Yeah, I'm going to give him a little bit higher. I'm going to go B-, right? I think, like you said, that first drive was fantastic. He took what the defense gave him. Stefanski is a master at drawing up the first 15 plays, scripting those plays. How many times did the Browns look amazing on a first drive and score a touchdown under Stefanski? So I feel like that's not on him per se. He was able to come up with numerous third down conversions all in that first drive that ends up with a score. And then, of course, the botch snap on the extra point. We're really going to have to work on that. That scares me this season. The interception, yes, it was a mistake in the route running, but at the same time, he could have needed to eat that. He needed to see that where the spacing was. Yeah. And eat it. But it's so, and that's the thing. I think for us, and I don't know if any of you played football. I certainly didn't. I couldn't do that at all. And you have a split second to make that decision and to see that. So it's not like he's sitting back there and pondering all of life's great, questions. He sees it. He makes a decision. Sometimes it works. Sometimes it doesn't. It stunk, right? You're like, crap, that kind of a thing. But that shouldn't be his undoing. I think we need to see more. I do think that he's been this height for however long, and he's learned how to play with it. Now the NFL, they get a little bit better than they do in college. So it's a bigger challenge, no pun intended. And we'll just see where it goes. How many times have we played multiple quarterbacks? I mean, it's almost a guarantee for one reason or another. We are playing multiple quarterbacks. These guys will get a chance. And the only thing I can say, it's if whoever it is, if they're succeeding, I'm happy, right? I just want the team to win. But I think there's issues or questions about as we discussed earlier, with how many quarterbacks you can keep on the roster. There's an issue also there, potentially with Kenny Pickett. We know Flacco's a 1-year rental. Pickett may be a 1-year rental as well. I don't know. Salary ramifications are always the questions. I don't know. I'm not going to get into that. I'll call Jack Duffin and see if he can figure it out for me.
And he'll tell you, because he's good.
He's amazing.
He's
good, is absolutely amazing. But at the end of the day, so I say a B-. I think he went out there. He did what he needed to do. He showed that he belongs out there. It was a shame that Shedeur couldn't play in the same game, but it is what it is.
My wife's showing support in the comments for Kenny. Appreciate it, love.
She said Shedeur first.
Yeah, she did.
So I'll tell you, Sam, you weren't here for this. We were having a talk before the show. Me, Ethan, and Angel.
Okay.
Eric Metcalf last week. Do you remember when he said, "You're going to for sure see Joe Flacco come in and start the game. If that guy's winning week 5 and 6, no matter what, that guy is. If he's winning, he's going to remain the quarterback. But by week 5 or 6, if you're 4-2 or 2-4, you might see a change depending on the outcome of each game. And that, I think, is very true. A huge possibility to see somebody else step up. And we've all said this on the show. No matter what, the best quarterback needs to be out there to start.
Yeah.
Obviously, the veteran is the good choice to go with because he's knowledgeable, knows the game, knows the playbook. It's been here already. So I agree with that, but if it falls apart, move along.
Well, the part of the issue is the best quarterback's hurt, so you can't play him. Anyways,
are you talking about Deshaun Watson?
No, I'm just playing.
Sorry, Sam.
So my grade for Dillon Gabriel is a C+. I agree with Ethan. Everything he said is spot on. He shouldn't have thrown that pass, but here's the deal. He is a spot thrower. So he saw the window and he threw it. But the problem is the receivers kind of messed him up a little bit. But I think he had enough time to see that window collapse. I think he should have just threw it away. That was on him. The handoff, definitely on him. Nervous feet. Also, I saw some nervous feet back there. And I think his issue, and he's got to learn to be not so strict on structure. Kevin loves a structured thrower. Hey, this is what you see this, you get that. You see this, you get that. And sometimes this and that is not in there. So then you have to kind of improvise. And I think he's not there yet. Obviously, he's a rookie. So he needs to learn when his first and second reads are not there, you have to, and maybe part of the issue he couldn't too much because he probably would have bailed and ran because he's a runner. He couldn't because of his hamstring. So we have to look at that aspect also. But I think he had happy feet. I think he didn't look like it in the drive. He looked very calm in the first drive, right? Outside of that, when you got out of the comfort zone of, hey, this is your first 15 plays, he got nervous, and you can see that. But what I did like is that
and the big thing,
he completed a lot of third down passes, folks. And last year we sucked at third down. We were 3rd and 10, and he completed 3rd and 8, and he completed a pass for 10 yards. So I understand a lot of people saying that he dinged and dunked. That's a lot better than trying to force something and get a lot of interceptions. Because we were negative 22 the turnover rate last year. So this is who Kevin likes, by the way. He likes a safe quarterback. So the dink and dunk, get used to it. Because guess what? You got Bond. You got Gage, who are fast. So a 5-yard pass could turn to a 20-yard run after that. So,
but he also liked when we saw Flacco.
We might be able to.
I think Sam's on the delay again.
Yeah,
we might be able to use the actual. Hang on, my whole life's a delay. We might be able to actually use a wide receiver screen pass maybe now that we got some guys with some turbojets, man.
Yeah.
So, and I'm not a fan of that, but I see what you're saying. You know, you got to use the utility guy where you can use the utility guy. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Ethan.
No, I was just going to say, when Flacco came in, Kevin was like, man, he wasn't afraid to let Flacco air it out.
Yeah.
He was like, all right, let's go. Let's go. So I think that there's going to be some opportunity there. And when you talked about Dillon and being a structure quarterback, that's kind of something that, like, Sanders, to his benefit and detriment, kind of can play a little bit out of structure, but that almost burnt him.
That can hurt him. Yeah.
Like against Carolina in the preseason, okay, he's running 30 yards backwards and got away with it. That's not going to happen against the best of the best in the regular season. They both have a lot of room for improvement. I've talked to, if you guys read Cleveland.com, if you read Lance Riesland, Coach Riz,
I've
talked to him. He's been on my podcast. He talked about, this is at the very beginning, I think it was at the time of the draft, he said, look, Dillon Gabriel, higher floor, lower ceiling, Shedeur Sanders, lower ceiling, or lower floor, higher ceiling. And I think that's exactly what we're seeing. That is exactly what we're seeing out there. And we'll just see how the chips fall and whatever. Just win. Just win.
That's all we want. No matter the guy behind center, just win. Big J-Bone, he says, how do you guys truly feel about the quarterback situation? We actually just went over that. So if you want to go back and listen, probably about 10 minutes, we've been talking about that.
Like overall quarterback situation, I mean, we think Flacco should start. And the rookies need to learn. I mean, we went that. There's a lot of weaknesses.
In a perfect world, them. Yes.
Yeah. I mean, so hopefully Flacco holds the fort for a little bit.
Yep.
But pluses on for me, I put pluses on Shedeur. Dillon. He went 4 for 4 on third down passing attempts. You need that. Last year we sucked at third down, bottom of the league. First drive, 8 minutes. Mike mentioned that. Perfect. That's a perfect Kevin. And the benefit of the 8-minute drive is this: you rest your defense. If they're rested, they're going to be even better than what they are. And didn't allow the turnovers.
They didn't get much rest last season.
Didn't allow the turnovers to discourage him. He seemed to keep his head straight. Didn't have droopy. He still was throwing the ball. Obviously the negatives we talked about: fumble, sack, 2 sacks, and interception. He's got to clean those up. But
I mean, think about it. You were facing the Super Bowl winning team last year. Yes, it was their 2s and 3s, but they still got a dominant defense.
They got depth.
Was able to stop. Obviously, we had a dominant defense against them with only giving them up 88 yards. But at the end of the day, it is preseason, folks. Just wind it down a little bit. Like it's time. We got one more game left. That's Saturday. I'll be there, and I might go tailgating, so I might be, I don't know, inebriated. We'll see.
Hey, did you see Tuscarora's Rich said that he tagged you in it?
He's the reason I might be inebriated.
Okay. Shout out to Tuscarora's Browns backers. On to the next thing.
Rich and Jason.
Let's play a game. So Kenny Pickett's not in because obviously there's things with him, Cammy, age, because if there's a future, it will be with the two young guys. Right now, who's QB2, Dillon or Shedeur?
Shedeur.
Okay. You want to say why? Or are you just going to say it? Because I'm Mike. That's why.
Well, yes, I am Mike, and that is why. But I think the kid shows promise. He's not all about. He's about the high life that he lived because of his dad. Don't get me wrong, but all that aside, the kid could play good football. I 100% wholeheartedly believe that. I think this kid's putting in more work than others. He's trying to prove himself because he's got a lot to prove. No matter who your dad is, you still got to prove you can play the game. At the end of the day, I think Shedeur Sanders is, by a pretty big margin, number 2.
Sam?
Snoop Huntley.
He made the cut. He made the 53. Awesome. Congrats, Snoop.
Snoop Huntley. I can't do it no more with these rookies, man. I can't do it no more. We have not seen enough. These guys need to learn and groom. I think we rush out rookies too fast as quarterbacks, and I think sometimes that hampers what they could be. So I don't want to rush none of them out there. I really wish we could have another veteran as a number 2.
But in this scenario, you don't. So who's your number 2?
But we don't. So we don't. So in a perfect world, that's what I would like, but we don't. So I'm going to go with Shedeur Sanders. Oh, and I'll tell you why. Because of they happen to been, even if they weren't touchdown passes, okay? I watched him thread the needle on that first pass into triple coverage, okay? That's one thing that stood out. I didn't get a chance to see Dillon do that yet or not, okay? Not saying that he can't. I just haven't seen it, okay? The second one was, I'm going back to the touchdown. The second one was he's seen the pressure coming from his left. He trusted his running back to make that block, and the running back did, and he gave a little bit more time, and he gunned it in there. So it's that patience and pause of that to get it in there like that I saw from Shedeur, than I didn't see from Dillon, and it's only because I haven't seen enough of Dillon, because I think he can do those passes too. But what I've just seen is only what we've seen. Yeah. So right now, Shedeur is the hat for me.
Ethan?
Yeah, I could pull a Hugh Jackson and flip a coin. But I think that at this point, I have been more impressed with what I've seen from Sanders than Dillon Gabriel. However, I'll just put it this way. Would I be shocked if Dillon was an adequate quarterback in the league for quite some time? No. Will he be a future Pro Bowler star? And now he could be a Pro Bowler because that's not hard to make anymore.
Yeah, Huntley.
Are you talking starter or backup?
I think he could have a long-term career as a backup. He could be, and I heard this comparison, so I'm stealing this, but it's a good one for us Browns fans.
I know where you're going.
A Colt McCoy-ish type guy. I mean, look, we had Cody Kessler, we had
Brandon
Weeden. I mean, so along the lines of players that we've seen in Cleveland, quarterbacks we've seen in Cleveland, I could certainly see Gabriel being serviceable in the league for some time. Perhaps he has some starts, but I don't think he's a long-term starter. I really did enjoy watching him, especially in that first drive. He's hitting that out to thrash on the sideline. It was great. It was very, very nice to watch him. And it was about getting in and out of the huddle and operating the offense the way Stefanski wants to. And that's where he had the leg up on Sanders to start. But I think that's something that Sanders can catch up on. And I ultimately think Sanders there's just something. If they say this, it's a BS thing. He has an it factor, not an ick factor, not an ick factor, an it factor. You want to be clear on that.
Yeah.
I'm going to give you a quick pro and a quick con about Dillon Gabriel. The pro is that he's left-handed, so he could make some other things happen that not a lot of other quarterbacks can, depending on which way the field he's running. The con, standing behind a big offensive and defensive line, you've seen him kind of struggling to obviously see the field, I think, is somewhat of a struggle. So I think he's going to be scrambling more out of the pocket to be able to see more of the field and what's going on. So I think that is a huge con. Unfortunately, I'm not saying Shedeur Sanders is a big difference taller, but a couple inches makes a difference. Don't laugh, Sam.
I'm sorry.
Pause.
Happy birthday to Sam. Change the subject real quick.
Yeah, this is tough for me because I think I know a lot of people say that I'm never a Shedeur guy, and I am. I actually am a Shedeur guy. I think Dillon played good enough to. I didn't think to myself this past weekend, man, he's short. I didn't think to myself, wow, his shortness is causing issues with his throwing issue. I didn't think that. So my hope is that continues for him. I love his structure play. I love that he's on. Thank you for subscribing, Big J Bone. I love that he's a competitor. I mean, I know that sounds cliche, but he's good. The reason why I'm going to have to pick Sanders is because his floor is so low. And if he can learn to play in structure in the Kevin system, he will be even better than what he is right now. And that will make him better than what Dillon Gabriel can be. I said something positive about Shedeur. Ian's probably not even in YouTube right now. He probably left because he's on me about not liking Shedeur. So I think I said this when he came out in the draft, when we were talking about quarterbacks. I said, I think Sanders can be really good in Kevin's system. I just worry about his maturity a little bit. And I'm worried because I saw a clip where Andrew Berry was trying to be serious with him, and it was very awkward for him to be serious. And I know I probably am the only one that took it that way, but Andrew Berry's trying to have like this dad-son moment with him. Say, hey, you did really good, but there's something. Oh yeah, I did good, but I did good, but it's like he made it real awkward. Instead of taking the criticism, saying, "I got it, sir. I got it. Yep, I got it." He took it as like in a jokey way. I think he needs to kind of work on that. But I do think, matter of fact, I bought me a Shedeur Sanders shirt, and I don't wear it. I haven't worn it yet, and I won't wear it.
Listen, you just told Eric Metcalf.
Yeah, I told that tells you how much I believe in Sanders. That I haven't worn a name of another person on my body. So I have this in my dresser waiting for the right moment. If not, I'm going to return it back to homage. Either way, I think Shedeur can be special here. My biggest concern, and I'll tell you my biggest concern, is what we do in Cleveland is we rush these people, like Sam said. We rush them on the field and we ruin them. I think we can have something so special if you Shedeur Sanders people can just be silent and just let him bake in the oven. If he comes out too soon, he's going to be too gooey. He's not ready to really enjoy yet. You don't want gooey bread, do you? No, you want nice bread. You want it to smell good in your house. You want people to come home and be like, my God, your house smells so good, like delicious food.
Yeah.
If not, it's going to spoil. So I trust if I know a lot of people are like, hey, this regime is trying to screw Shedeur. I disagree. I saw that Andrew Berry talk to him, and I think Andrew Berry has his best interests at heart, to the point where we're going to make you good. You just got to trust me.
Big J-Bone real quick. My wife got me a Chubb jersey for Christmas, and Sam's got a JOK jersey. He's gone. Sam's got a Mayfield jersey. I got a Mayfield jersey. He's gone. I got a Garrett jersey. He's gone. But I ordered a jersey this week, and you guys know. Hold on. I ordered a jersey, and you guys already know which jersey I ordered. It's a defensive guy. Ethan, can you guess what jersey I ordered? Defensive rookie.
Messenger.
Got him.
Dude, you got it first guess.
Got him.
No, you know what? We were in Cleveland at the end of June, and my son, thankfully, he's still in like I don't know if he had to get an adult size or the largest of the kid size. We got the Chubb jersey from Dick's for like less than $30.
Jeez.
I mean, I'm like, that's a great. The only jersey I have is my Josh Cribbs jersey.
Kent State.
That's right.
That's right. Yeah, because you're from Kent State. See, there's connection.
Bingo.
Yeah, so that's what I think about Shador. I love Shador. I'm hoping the best for him, and it's hard not to root for the kid because he's just contagious. Like Landry said, he's contagious. Like he's just contagious. Like how can you not like this kid? He's smart. He's very humble, and I think he's genuine to the point where he's like, he's like, calm down. Let's be real quick. Calm down. On to the next, and we're gonna skip the players to impress. We're gonna go right to the stadium talk because of time. Stadium talk brought to you by Doug White, Allstate Insurance. Give Doug White a call today, 1-440-235-8500. That's 440-235-8500 for insurance quote today. Let him know the Bearded Browns podcast sent you for that quote so he can actually say, wow, my money's going to something good finally. So ODOT rejects the stadium bill. Guys, what do we think about ODOT stepping in, saying, listen, the FAA passed it. Everything else is cool, but we cannot put cones around this area because of flights.
It's kind of insane. So
dumb.
58 feet. 58
that
feet.
much.
That's all. That's
Make it
58 feet.
Make it.
SoFi Stadium
sense, man.
is 100 feet below ground level. In order for us to be where the FAA wants us to be, we'd have to go 140 feet below ground level.
You mean ODOT?
Yeah, ODOT.
ODOT. Yeah. So that's a big difference. That's a mega big difference. And that stadium's already, I believe, it's already, 50 feet underground, I believe.
Dig it more.
Or no. I'm sorry. It's 80 feet. If you're going to build it 80 feet underground.
Simplest thing.
In order to, it is. Not really. There's a lot of zoning issues that would go in with that as well because of the size of the land. You don't know what's underneath it. They'd have to figure all that out and figure out how far they can go without having the airport fall through a giant 140-foot hole, I guess. I don't know. There's issues, and it's kind of funny how it's popping up last second because you think this is something that would have been handled a year and a half ago when it was being talked about.
So, Ethan, you want to give us your
I think some of this stuff.
Sam, you are delayed. Like
Sam's on a delay. Hey, let Ethan go real quick. Ethan.
Okay, so you certainly would have thought this would have been taken care of long before, but of course the Haslam Sports Group, their attorneys, they're saying, what the heck is this when they get this letter from ODOT? And they're saying, and the reports are saying the FAA had previously found the stadium didn't pose a hazard despite exceeding height standards, and they even approved plans for red lights atop the stadium to increase visibility for the aircraft. Now, this is something we talked about before we came on the air. Apparently, this is something that's like on Cleveland.com. They do a podcast, some of the editors, and out of it, they said the FAA, or one of them said, the FAA has no control over zoning. If you look at the law, they cannot do anything about zoning. So I don't know if that has anything to do with it, because we were wondering, well, who takes precedent here? Does the FAA? Does the ODOT? What takes precedent? It all sounds like someone wants to get a check written to them and try to sway things. And as we discussed earlier, this kind of came out of left field, and you're like, I wonder if there's anything behind this. And I don't know. Yeah.
Mayor Bib. Mayor Bib.
Sam all freshly cut.
Sam's hiding. Wait. It's Mayor Bib right now. You got
who is that masked man? Is it Mayor Bib?
Mayor Beard Man.
Is it Mayor Bib?
Yeah. Yeah, Sam, obviously you think this is dumb, right?
Yeah, that's ridiculous, man.
Dumb.
All these things have been looked at. They've already looked. Listen, they've already looked at a lot of these things. They have to change the freeway. That's already been in discussion. They got plans to do all that. You didn't think that they thought about the how high something's going to be for the aircraft that come in here with millions of people traveling through here throughout the year? Are you kidding me? This is the dumbest. I'm going to say the word too. This is the dumbest shit I've heard so far about this dome being chilled out, let down. It's going to happen. It's already done. What we need to do is get over the dumb stuff. And like I said, you go down to certain people, you write a certain dollar amount, that goes away. That's how it is. I mean, It shouldn't be like that. They're fighting Jimmy tooth nail over this. And I think Mayor Bibb's salty because the city of Cleveland's going to have to keep running. They got to keep this stadium down there while they're still there playing. They have to make upgrades to it because that's their property. They're the landlord, so they're salty about that.
Was that like $2 million that they build in updates? Yeah.
Yeah, so they're salty about that, and I think they're fighting Mayor Orcutt tooth nail on little small things. You don't think that this was already planned? These engineers that are building these domes have built other domes. I'm sure they're around different areas. They know what you need for the airport. They know how high something can be or not be. Or you know what? You might have to move it 500 feet to the left, 500 feet to the right. You might have to dig into the earth another 80 foot, and then that clears your problem. This has already been figured out. So this is going to be something that's here, and then we're not talking about it in 2 weeks. It's done.
Yeah. Big J Bone says maybe they can take that money and put it into the current stadium. Big J Bone. There's a couple of things wrong with that. You cannot fix that stadium up as good as the other stadiums. And part of the issue is NFLPA, they come out with these scores. And one of the big scores, believe it or not, the Browns suck at was locker room. They got an F. Okay. That matters to players. I know it's crazy. It's the whole college atmosphere where you come in and see a cool locker room is pretty dope. Players want that. Also, too, transportation to the stadium for families. Players hate that. They say that their families are left underneath the tent with heaters. I'll give you an example. Minnesota, they keep their families because they're so close to everything at a hotel, and they transport them to the stadium, which is 5 minutes away. Haslam's trying to do that with the whole Berea setup, straight 5-minute ride down the street to the stadium. So that would be a waste of money. That's why Mayor Bibb is pretty ticked off because he has to put $2 million into fixing a stadium it's just ugly. I mean, he's got to fix the concrete. He's got to update toilets. He's got to do just small stuff. It's ridiculous. Updating is it's a waste of time.
Bro, that's their house. They got to keep the upkeep for it, so that's just how it goes. Haslam's, they're leasing. I mean, we all know how that works. You own or you lease. And if you own something or you rent something out, you got to keep updates. You're in charge of that. That's just how it goes, man. So, like I said, tear that stadium down. All right. And put a racetrack over there and solve your crime problem over there in Cleveland. Build a little racetrack over there so you get all these guys off the streets. Give them somewhere to ride. Put a nice little thing over there, man. You can put some dirt mounds over there. They can actually do some ATVing. You can make a small racetrack and stuff like that. There's a lot that you can do over there. Okay, Mayor Bibb, there's a lot you can do over there. You know that. It seemed like you already backed off of it anyway. You kind of said, I'm done with this. But you seem like you're still
behind the scenes, kind of like
you're still doing, I would have got away from it if it wasn't for these kids, Scooby-Doo mask thing. You know what I'm saying? So we got to get over that, man. Come on, Bibb. You're better than that, man. You're a young man. One of the youngest mayors I think we've ever had in Cleveland. There's a lot of development to be made over there. Do your best over there. Browns are going to Brook Park. Game over.
Use your creative mind.
Yes,
all right.
Absolutely.
I just posted a video really quick by Brody Brazil that really explains it in depth. I put it on Facebook and YouTube. The whole stadium ordeal, the money going into it, how it's going to happen, what will work and what will not. And this guy is actually in aviation himself, so he's able to explain why the issue might be an underlying problem. But it's a good video. It's like 15 minutes, but it's worth it to watch to get educated on what's going to happen and how it's all going to work out for us.
Yeah. Lastly, on the stadium issue, like look around the league. Everyone's building new stadiums. What do they have in common outside of Buffalo for some weird reason? It's a dome, because it's going to be a multi-purpose complex where they do more than just play football. That's where the money's at. They want to do concerts. They want to do events. That's just where. And owners want parking. They want control of that parking money, and that's what Haslam wants. He wants to build a stadium for park. That's great, but what's more important to him is that parking money, because that's where he's going to fill his pockets. On to the next topic. We're getting ready for Cincy. I know we have a Rams game where Flacco's going to play, but that's just the last game. Who cares, right? So we're going to do a little quick promo. We have a event coming up for the home opener at JB's Tavern, located in Parma, Ohio, on Brook Park Road. We will be there from 9 to kickoff, doing a live there. Us, me, Sam, and Mike. You can wake up early and come and pregame with us at JB's Tavern from 9 to kickoff. We're going to be selling some merch. We got shirts. By the way, here's a shirt that we got. Bearded Browns.
I like it. Looks
yeah,
good,
man. It's simplistic. Nice. It's beautiful. The link is on our website. It should be on our website. Not yet. Maybe not.
It is.
It is on our website and Facebook. We'll be selling merch there. If you want the link, it's beardedbrownspodcast.printful.me/. You go there, order some shirts, order your hoodie. It's great. We got some coming in. We're going to be selling it there. Also, we will be doing a raffle for a pair of tickets for the Green Bay game, happening September 21st.
Yes.
Yeah, September 21st. The seats are this is where you'll be sitting, right here. 317A, row 2, seats 11 and 12. I think these tickets right now are going for $125, $150 each. So we'll be doing a $5 raffle. You can come to the event, pregame with us, drink some drinks, eat some food, enjoy the atmosphere, and then go down to the stadium and have fun, right? Or you can go there and hang out with us. Either way, you can win these tickets simply for just $5 raffle. Buy a $5 raffle ticket. Buy more tickets, increases your odds.
And then we have a giant basket full of brown stuff. A lot of stuff. I think it's almost valued at about $200 that we're going to be raffling off as well. Same goes for that. $5.
The baskets are getting close. The basket is getting close to the ticket mark. So if that tells you anything, let's go, man. Come on down to JB's and throw your hat in the ring on some nice brown stuff. I'm looking at the bags right now. I cannot wait to put them in a basket. Mike's got the basket. I can't wait to put this stuff in there. I asked Mike, I said, I think we're going to need a bigger basket, because it's just the way things are going. And that's how we like them to be, man. There's a lot of cool things in there. And also, plus, like winning these tickets, man, $5, you can win some Browns tickets. You want to go see the Cheeseheads get beat up? Let's go. Let's do it.
Yeah, you can see Flacco passing, throwing. Hopefully Junkins running. See him thrashing. I mean, it'll be great. Thrashing. That's good. Come out. I mean, it's going to be fun.
Thrashing.
This is our first live event that we're doing during the game at a bar. We did one last year at a friend's, Mike's friend's basement, the Pittsburgh game. But this one should be totally different. Yeah, this one's going to be cool. They're going to have food trucks there, I believe. They have pizza there. They have drinks, beer, bourbon, whatever you like. So come on and support, man. Support the pod. Buy a shirt, drink some drinks. Get some food.
We're also going to have our license plates that are behind Angel back there. You can see those. Yeah. Those will be for sale there, as well as some other stuff.
Yeah, we have a lot of cool stuff. So just come on. You'll see it on our website, beardedbrowns.com, Facebook, Instagram. It's all over. So come out. Not Thin Crust Pizza. They have pizza. What is that type of pizza they have? French bread pizza.
Yeah, French bread pizza. That's actually made right from a bakery down the street from them. So
they get the bread from around the corner. So I guess that's it, guys. We're at the end of our notes. Appreciate everybody tuning in and commenting below. Shout out to J-Bone for just subscription, man. Got a new follower today, guys. We must have been really good. You know what it is? It's Chad. We might have to kick him out, man. Ethan. No, Chad's gonna get that.
Ethan, thank you so much for joining us tonight, man. Ethan, we appreciate you.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me on. This was a pleasure. I'm glad to come on and have some level-headed discussions about the Browns Whether we agree or not, at least we can have a civil conversation. And we all, at the end of the day, want the same thing. We want the Browns to win. So this is fantastic. Thank you so much for having me on.
Shout out your handles again, real quick.
Yeah. So first and foremost, you can find me on Twitter or X or whatever you want to call it these days, whatever floats your boat, find your lost remote at egreen4325. You'll know the numbers. It's Brad Doherty to Mark Price there. Normally it was in reverse, but it just worked well for me. So at egreen4325. Then the best doggone podcast in the land with Ethan and Heather. That is at Doggone Pod. Below my name there, you can see it. And then the Going Nuclear podcast is at Going Nuclear CLE. And, the Going Nuclear podcast, part of the Fanatical Elves Network. Be sure to check out the Fanatical Elves Network and all their great shows. If you follow me, you'll see all the posts for all the programs that are coming up, whether it be the best doggone podcast in the land or Going Nuclear. I will be there. I will bring you something entertaining, or maybe not. I'm not sure which it is. But again, thank you so much for having me on. I really, really appreciate it. This is fantastic.
Well, guys,
thanks. It's a pleasure to meet you, Ethan. I know I'm a little bit of a delay, man, but a pleasure to meet you. Like I said, I've seen you before, man, and hats off to doing what you do. And we would love to have you on again, maybe during the season. We'll see how these games turn out. And we got things, some real stuff, some gravy to talk about. Let's get it. So, all right.
Anytime. Let me know.
Thanks, Ethan.
I got your number. I'll shoot you a message. I'm going to be contacting Ethan. I'm going to help him out on some things. Guys, thanks, man, for tuning in. We appreciate seriously the love. We're about 18 away from getting 500 on YouTube. So share our stuff on YouTube. Get us some followers. That would be great. And we'll hit that goal before the season starts. Appreciate it. Until next
James,
time.
I'm glad you love gravy. Until next time, Angel. Sorry.
Yeah, I like gravy. That's a random comment. Shout out James Frank, our number one supporter. Until next time, like always, go Browns.
Go Browns.
Hey, fix your